Hello crafty friends, I'm Lien from Studio Cato and I'm so happy you're joining me again today. Today I am on the Reverse Confetti Blog again with a Stock Your Stash challenge, and this month is all about Valentine's Day. Now I'm starting out with all my wet techniques, so they have some time to dry while I work on my focal image. So if this doesn't really make sense at the start, it'll be clear what I'm going to do with these pieces later on. Now I took some pattern paper. I have 3 different pieces of pattern paper, and I also have some distress oxide inks. I will list the colors in the description below. And I'm splattering those inks. I diluted them a little bit with water. And I'm just splattering them onto the pattern paper to give the papers a little bit more texture and interest. I'm just going to die cut some elements out of these patterned papers. So I just want them to be pink and I want them to be fun and textured, so I don't really have to color my die cuts afterwards. And this is a really quick way to do that. Once I'm happy with the splatter, I'm going to set those aside to dry, and I'm going to work on my background piece, which is an odd shape because I'm also die cutting this one. This is Canson Montval 200 GSM watercolor cardstock, and I'm sprinkling on some Lindy's Gang Magical Shaker. And this is a watercolor powder that you just dilute with water, and it contains different colors, so you will have a really interesting background in no time, because this part I left in real time. I went really slowly for this for some reason, but I just sprinkled on the powder, and then I am just going to spritz it with water, first from quite a distance, then up closer, and you can see all those gorgeous colors come out. There are different pinks in this one. There is some yellow in there, and I'm dabbing away some excess water, spritzing some more on, just playing around till I get a nice flow and some nice coverage. Then I'm going to leave it aside for a minute to let the colors flow out as much as they want. I will dab away excess water where it pools, but other than that I'm going to leave this alone, and then I'm just going to heat set it once I'm happy with how the colors have flown out and dispersed. I'm going to heat set it to speed up the drying process, and that's my background finished. Now for my focal image, I took this gorgeous little bear from the Polar Party stamp set, which was my favorite Christmas card stamp set. But this one is just holding a present, which I think is perfect for Valentine's Day or birthdays as well. And I love bears, they're always so adorable. So just stamped that in some alcohol marker friendly ink. I think I used My Favorite Things, what is it called? Extreme Black ink for this one. But any alcohol marker friendly ink will do. I am coloring it quickly with my alcohol markers, as you might have guessed from my ink choice. And that's it. Now, with my alcohol markers, I tried a different blend for a bear than usual. I tried to go for a lighter brown combination, but my lightest shade was a little bit too yellow. And I do keep this as my lightest shade, but I just minimize the space I give to it. So I'm going in for a second layer now, and I am going further with all my darker colors than I did in the first layer. So I am darkening this bear up a little bit, just so I don't have too much of that yellow shade as my lightest color. It's perfect as a highlight shade in this blend, I think. It just didn't need to be so prominent. And once I'm happy with that, I am just going to color in the snout and the little pads at his paws, and then I'm coloring in the present in orange because that fit my background nicely, and I'm again tying it into the background with the pink bow. I used the coordinating dies to cut that out, and then I am starting to work on my background. Now these are the die cuts that I made from the pattern paper. So these are just some flowers from the daisy chain cover panel by Reverse Confetti, and I'm just gluing them on the bottom of that heart, and that heart has that Lindy's Gang Magical Shaker watercolor background. That's a long description for a background, but that's what it is. But yeah, I just covered that with enough flowers, so the sides and the bottom of the heart is covered. I will add more flowers later, but this is just so I know where to trim off the excess of the flowers. Then I die cut 2 more heart shapes from thick white cardstock, and in one I made a score line. This is going to be my card base. So anything above the score line, I am adding some glue. This is the Barely Art Precision Craft glue, and then I can adhere that to my second heart, and that will create a hinge to make a card base. This is an easy way to make a shaped card. I have tons of videos about this. You can do this with basically any die cut shape. So it's really easy to make a interesting card base. I die cut that heart one more time from a pink cardstock, layered that on top with glue, and then I adhered my watercolor background with foam tape so it's nice and propped up and dimensional, and I'm doing the same with my bear on top of the flowers. I want him to sit in a mountain of flowers. In Dutch we have a saying, putting someone in the flowers, which just means to treat them nicely, to treat them to nice things. So it's a perfect saying for Valentine's Day as well. And for birthdays, we use it a lot. So I wanted to use that in this card as well. And also, it's just a nice visual to put a bear in flowers, I think. I do think the flowers could have been a little more dark or a more contrasting color because they kind of disappear into the background, but I still like the sentiment behind them. I am adding some details with a white gel pen. I added a dash line around the heart, and then I also added in some tiny little hearts in the background that are barely visible on the light background, but I do think it's a nice touch. For my envelope, I used that same magenta cardstock that I used for my, what is it called? The matting layer in my card. And I am just folding a card base that would fit my card with the We Are Memory Keepers 123 punch board, gluing that together, and then I can stamp that same bear on there with the Versamark ink. Any clear embossing ink will do. I prep my cardstock with some anti-static powder, and then I can sprinkle on my white embossing powder. I am heat sanding this really quickly. It goes really quickly with a Wow embossing tool because it has 2 heat settings, so one is perfect for heat embossing. And that's my matching envelope for this adorable little Valentine's card. I really love how this card turned out. I just got these Lindy's Gang magical shakers for Christmas, or some colors at least, and they make for such quick and gorgeous, interesting backgrounds. I am going to be using those a lot for the foreseeable future. And I really love that adorable bear in the flowers, even though I should have made the flowers a different color. I hope you like it too. If you did, make sure to leave a thumbs up on this video and leave your thoughts in the comments below. You should also definitely go check out the Reverse Confetti blog. I will leave a link in the description of this video so you can check that out, because there will be more inspiration for the Stock Your Stash challenge, and you should definitely head over and participate in the challenge as well. I will also leave a playlist linked on this video for more reverse confetti cards that I made, so you can get more inspiration there as well. I hope you subscribe to my channel for more videos. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.